Visible now? No? The notes is visible, no? Please respond. Okay. Okay, and voice is clear, I think. Okay. Now, now in the previous class we have discussed about the plumbing system of water supply system. Plumbing system of water supply. Water supply means fresh water supply system, drinking water supply system. Today I will show you the basic parts or basic principles of wastewater disposal system. Uh, that is, in the previous class we have just discussed the supply system. Supply means supply in the household or in the buildings, and today we'll discuss about the disposal system. Disposal system means wastewater disposal from buildings or from household. Okay, now these are the main sources of wastewater in some household or in some building. Those are water closets, urinals. Now, if you don't know what are these things significant, that water closet means the toilets with flushing system. That is called, technically that is called water closet. Toilets with flushing system, or uh, that latrine with flushing system, I should say, those are called technically water closets. Urinals means, I think you know what is urinals. Flushing systems of water closets. These water closets with flushing system, and that flushing system having some water which is actually used for washing those water closets. Those parts of flushing systems are also the source of wastewater. Bathtubs, I think you know what is bathtub. Washing basins and kitchen sinks, these are, I think, known to you. These are the basic sources of wastewater. Now, from these sources of wastewater, we should try to dispose all the wastewater easily and economically to some specified uh, area in some specified time. Okay, that is our main basic principles. Now, what are the principles of wastewater plumbing system? That means when we are going to install wastewater plumbing system, we have to keep all these principles in our mind uh, before installation of wastewater plumbing system. From that, first principle is that for better maintenance of wastewater treatment system, the sanitary pipe should be preferably laid into the ground by the side of building rather than in walls or underground. That means the wastewater plumbing system, this treatment system should be written as plumbing system, I think. Otherwise, you will be confused. Wastewater plumbing system should be around the building rather than under the ground, or under the, sorry, not under the ground, under the underground uh, stories of that building, or under the walls. That is not preferable. That is, plumbing systems are installed under the walls or in the underground stories, because if there are some leakage occurred, then uh, um, the service or the repairment will be not easy if those plumbing systems are under the wall or in the underground stories of the building. That's why we have to preferably lay the plumbing system around the building. Around the building means sidewise of the building. Okay. Next principle is that vertical pipes in the building should be kept outside and accommodated in shafts to avoid their bad appearance. that means kept. This is the same principle, that is this one, rather than walls. Kept outside of the building, that means not inside the building, that outside of the building, and accommodated in SAP. SAP means those plumbing systems are covered with some cases so that bad appearances cannot be there, or bad appearance means those uh, hampers the aesthetic view or architectural view of the building. Those should be avoided, and that's why those plumbing systems or plumbing pipes should be covered with cases. Next principle is that horizontal pipe. This second principle is for vertical pipes. Third principle is for horizontal pipes. Horizontal pipes should be laid straight and at grade between the inspection chambers. The point is this at grade. Now horizontal pipe means after laying through the walls, vertical walls, these pipes are continued to some chamber or to some outlet drainage systems. Before that, those are laid horizontally under the grounds or under some horizontal area, and at that time those pipes should be laid straight, preferably straight. If there is some problem, if there is some obstacles, then you may go for the uh, angles and other things, but if there is no problem, no hindrance, then you should lay the pipe in at straight stretch. And in the inspection chambers, what is inspection chambers? Those are actually in the stretch of the pipes, in the long stretch of the pipe, there are some chambers in middle of maybe 1 meter, or maybe not 1 meter, maybe 5 meters or 10 meters gap. There are some chambers to inspect the quality of wastewater, if there, whether there are some hazardous materials, or there are some other problematic materials. There are some chambers in some specific gaps. Those are inspection chambers, and in between those inspection chambers the pipe should be at grade. At grade means though there are some gradient or some slope in that portion of pipe, so that water or wastewater can flow with the gravitational force. Okay, that's why these slopes are provided. And next is that all sharp bends and junctions should be avoided and made through inspection chambers. That is, sharp bends. Bends must be there, but sharp bends means 90-degree bend. There must be some bends, angular bends must be there, but sharp bends, that means 90-degree bends or more than 90-degree bends, those are avoided. And if those sharp bends are not avoidable, then junctions are provided. Junctions are provided so that there is some uh, large portion which may be inspected in time to time. Those junctions are provided if sharp bends are unavoidable. Okay. Next, the entire plumbing system should be ventilated. Ventilated, I think what is ventilation or ventilated, you know that. That means the uh, facility to passing the airflow should be there in through the plumbing system, so that foul smells or some hazardous vapors can be ventilated through this ventilation system. Those ventilation must be provided in the plumbing system. Okay. Now, and for that, in the number 5, for that vents are provided in some specific gaps. Number 6, the house square. I think you know what is square. Have you studied about square? Where is the wastewater which is actually disposable, that is square. Okay, the houseware should be connected to the street square, keeping the outfall level of the houseware sufficiently higher than the water level. That means after disposed from the household or the building, I have already told that those uh, wastewater must be disposed in the main drainage system of the city or of the town or of the locality. Okay, and before um, going that, obviously the level of the wastewater source must be higher than that of uh, main drainage system. If the source of wastewater is lower, in the lower level of the main wastewater disposal drainage system, then that much of wastewater cannot be disposed in the drainage system, main drainage system. And backflow, this one, backflow. If the main drainage system is higher than the source, then from that main drainage system, wastewater will come back to the source which is actually lower than the drainage system, and obviously this is sufficiently higher source. Source must be sufficiently higher than the water level of public square. Okay, if you feel problem, then we can use the term wastewater in place of square. These are the main two terms of this principle, that is sufficiently higher than the water level of the wastewater drainage system, disposal drainage system, and that is to avoid backflow. Next, you have to provide enough number of traps. What is traps? Traps are actually the vertical bends. You may see the traps in case of the siphonage or that flush cistern in the commode or the in the commode type of latrine, that is actually trapped at the back of that flushing system, that is actually trapped to avoid the evolution of foul smell and to efficiently function of that plumbing system, or obviously to avoid the backflow of the wastewater. Traps are actually, I have a diagram of total wastewater system. I'll show you that after all these discussions, but for time being I can show you the picture of trap. This is the picture of trap. These types of traps are provided in the plumbing system to avoid all the foul things to enter into the household. Foul smells or foul water to backflow, those are avoided by using these traps, and more number of traps are used for this purpose. Okay, now laterals. Laterals means lateral pipes. Lateral pipes should be laid at sufficient slope. Lateral pipe means obviously horizontal pipe. Horizontal pipe should be provided with slopes or grades so that self cleaning velocity, if there is no slope or not enough slope, then water cannot be flow with the help of gravitational force. In purpose of that, enough sufficient slopes must be provided in the horizontal or lateral pipes. The joints of pipes should be made watertight. Watertight means obviously to avoid leakage. I should write that. Sorry, leakage or maybe the mixture of wastewater to some other supply source of water. Okay, the layout of system should be such that to permit easy cleaning in case of blockage. Blockage means after the use of that plumbing system for several years by some solid waste, the blockage may be formed in some parts of the plumbing system. In those cases, the total plumbing system should be serviced or should be open to clear the blockages. Now, if the layout system is not such that to allow these type of repairment or the clearance of blockages, then that is very much problematic. In that case, total plumbing system should be terminated or should be eliminated with a new installation, and that is not economical, that is very much costly. That's why these types of blockage clearance system or repairment should be keep in the mind before the installation and the design of layout of the plumbing system. Next, the high quality square pipe should be used in the system. That is obvious because these types of plumbing systems have the design here of maybe equal to the half of the design life of the building, maybe 25 years, 20 years, like that. So that if you want to continue with that specific plumbing system, then you have to use high quality square pipes. Next, these types of problems may be occur in the plumbing system, that is airlocks, siphon edge deposits. In the previous class, I think I have discussed about the siphon edge. Siphon edge means uh, actually the backflow due to the function of siphon. Airlock means obviously if there is some air bubbles uh, in the plumbing system, then pressure of the flow will be reduced or maybe gone to zero. In that case, flow of the wastewater will be hampered or will be stagnant. Then uh, the total plumbing system will have to repaired or maybe reinstalled all those parts of the plumbing system, so that these types of problems, these types of malfunctions should be keep in the mind before designing the plumbing system. And last of the all the principles is regarding the rainwater disposal system from the roofs of the building, and that system, that particular system of rainwater disposal system should not be mixed with other parts of other systems of wastewater plumbing. That means rainwater plumbing system should be separated from the wastewater plumbing system. Okay, this is the main principles which you should keep in your mind before designing the layout and installation of the uh, plumbing system for wastewater. Supply plumbing system, that means uh, plumbing system for fresh water supply, that is very much easy because there is no hazardous effect or adverse effect of that water. Only the point is that you have to assure the continuous supply of fresh water. That is the one single basic principles for plumbing system for fresh water supply system. But in case of plumbing system for wastewater disposal system, there the wastewater having the adverse effect or hazardous effect on the household or on the over the locality. That's why you have to keep all these things, all these points in your mind before designing the layout and installation of the wastewater plumbing system. Now coming to the figure, total figure is not accommodated in the screen. Let's try one thing. This is the figure of a specific plumbing system in some building or household. The topmost part is the vent pipe for the ventilation of the foul smell or foul gases. This is the this is actually the roof slab. Okay, this is the roof slab, and the vent pipe is above the roof slab. This is the main wastewater plumbing system pipe. This black pipe is main pipe of the system. These are the uh, sub vent pipes of the system. Bathtubs, lavatory, toilets, all these things are well known to you. This is the trap, so that this water will go through this, not backflow cannot be occurred in this case. These traps is provided for that, to avoid the backflow. This is the kitchen sink. There is also another trap is provided. This is the main wastewater pipe and vent stack, as I have already told. These are the parts of the sources, different sources. This is drains. Drains means there is some sieve type thing in the several parts of the uh, out point of the sources, so that solid waste cannot be enter into the plumbing system. By using these sieves, actually the blockage is avoided in the plumbing system. These are valves. These cleanouts are actually valves to open and closing the plumbing system for different purposes. This part is below the ground surface, before this soil stack, and this pipe is this horizontal portion is actually the last part of plumbing system of household, and that is actually proceed to the septic tank or main wastewater drainage system. This is the total and the simplest plumbing system diagram or layout. Okay.